say one big call of shenanigans for me was when they went to church and got those good seats. Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
You did not get good seats in church close to Christmas with like 12 people in your family.
And they showed up
That's
late,
a lie. Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dell.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
Today was almost Christmas.
Yes, we're continuing our holiday special. The entire month of December, we're doing holiday movies.
Yep.
So, the IMDb for this one is, a dysfunctional family gathers together for their first Christmas since their mom died.
Okay, yeah. That's
and
definitely
that is
what
happened.
That was exactly
That's
what happened.
exactly
That was exactly what happened, you know? All right. Want to start off with things we liked, as usual. You want to start this one off?
Yeah, I'll start it off. I will say one of the scenes that I really liked was the football game that they had.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best fight, and you guys know I love a good fight.
Yeah.
But I did like how much fun it looked like they were having, just in general. So that was good for me.
Yeah. On a similar vein, I had I actually had that scene paired with the scene of them dancing in the kitchen.
I have that scene down too.
Yeah, I just thought they were like very good vibes, and like it kind of made me imagine like what we'd be like when we like got back together in our like older years. You know, like we have two other brothers who aren't as cool as us, but you know, like maybe like they'll be grown, we'll be grown. But it just seemed like they were having like good fun family time, but like as adults, you know. So it was just cool watching that on screen, you know.
Because I wrote that as I like the little nods it has to Black family Christmases.
Yeah.
Because even during the show we were talking about it, I was like, I want to say this isn't what happens, but like that's exactly what happens at any like gathering with multiple Black people, like that spans generations. You have like the kids showing off their dances, then the parents are like, hey, this is what music really is, and then they do their little thing too. So I like that.
Was a good scene.
I guess that was me technically talking about the same thing we just did. So the other thing I have was I liked the Christmas dinner once Lonnie's one night stand came in.
Okay,
I will talk about the Christmas dinner a little bit later when we talk about things we didn't like. But once when Lonnie's one night stand came in, I liked just the whole tension around the table as she's like acting as like she doesn't know what's going on, and then Cheryl's like getting more mad, and everyone else is like, everything's gonna go to shit. Like I just loved that.
Yep. So that was actually the other scene I had written down. But I actually did like the first part of that scene too. I did like the first part about like the selling the house. You know, I kind of liked how there was just a lot of different conversations going on because again, the thing with the one night stand was also kind of building up too. A little bit. So I just kind of liked how you had kind of all of that kind of playing at once, and I definitely did like when she came. Like when she came, that scene got a lot better.
Yes,
but I also did
really
appreciate
good.
the first part too, and the build up to get there.
Okay.
I like that scene. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the gun part at the end, but I guess we'll talk about that.
Me
later.
neither, to be honest.
But
But those were the only things I have that I liked.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah. The second thing I have is one of those things that like kind of is like on the edge of both categories. Okay. So I'll kind of say it and then we'll kind of start our negatives in the middle. But the theme of like food and pie that was going on throughout, I really liked the idea of it. Poor execution. Like awful. Like they found, like, first of all, the tin wasn't really hidden. Like, he was struggling to find this tin, and the tin was literally in the pantry with all the other food. Like, that would have been the first place I would have looked, you know? So the fact that, like, he didn't have the tin, and then once they found the tin, they made dinner, but, like, they didn't really talk about it after, you know? Like, they didn't really, like, say, oh, this food's so good, or, like, you know, like, I just feel like there wasn't much there, you know? Like, they bonded for a little bit, I guess.
In all honesty, I personally thought that the sisters were going to kind of come together and help the dad make the pie.
Yeah, no, I thought that scene replaced the pie, and as soon as I was sitting there, like, oh, I guess they forgot about the pie. The movie's about to end. Then they pulled it out at the table, and that's when they tried, and I was like, oh, okay.
The pie?
They didn't forget about the pie, but, like, in terms of the movie, they forgot about the pie. They just shoehorned it in at the end, you know?
Yeah.
And the movie was kind of getting long towards that point, so, like, hearing them stretch out, like, saying the pie tastes like exactly how it did, you know, when the wife made it, like, I knew it was gonna happen, and, like, I'd been waiting, like, at this point, we're, like, an hour, 58 minutes
I
in.
honestly almost forgot about the pie at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the movie.
And that's the thing, like, they didn't talk about the pie. Like, they showed him make it, like, in the beginning a couple times, and he was, like, really struggling, like, shells in the pie, like, that didn't even make sense, you know, but...
He was struggling, like, infomercial struggling.
Yeah.
Where, like, it's like those are the people that really cook like that.
Yeah, it's like there's no way you're you've like lived 70 years of your life.
And when he made the pie, he like knew how to crack an egg. So I was like,
yeah,
what was the struggle for?
Exactly. You know, so
I would have appreciated his struggle more if he was struggling like a real person who knew how to cook. Where it's just like you try to cook something and then you realize, rats, I didn't get that right.
Yeah, it's like a little off, or like you missed like one ingredient. You know what I mean? But like,
I think he
was like straight up like didn't string the potatoes. Like, you know, it was just a gross pie.
And he straight up just was like beating the pie crust with a rolling pin. I hate when people do that.
Yeah, I was like, what is that even supposed to accomplish? He like lifts up the dough and smacks it. I'm like, that's not cooking. That's not doing anything. You know, but yeah, like I like the concept of having the food be that kind of connection for all of them, but poor execution.
I guess my turn is now. I didn't like the Christmas dinner. Oh. I liked once Lonnie was there. Once Lonnie's one night stand was there. Yeah. I didn't hate it, but it was just one of those things where the execution wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Only because when you have a dinner like that, I can tell what they wanted to do. They wanted to do a thing where everyone's been arguing this whole time and everything's simmering, and then Christmas dinner, it bubbles over. That's not what happened. Everyone had their little arguments they kind of made up, and then another little argument, then they kind of made up, and another little argument, then they kind of made up. So much so that Christmas dinner was kind of just like another little argument that they made up. I wanted it to be like everything had gradually built up to this really big argument. And you talked about how everyone was having their own separate conversations. They were, but they weren't like really intense conversations of like actual conflict. It was just like, you're kind of mad, but I know we're going to make up in like 2 minutes. Okay. So for me, that's why Christmas dinner wasn't my favorite. Yeah. And once Lonnie was there, then I started to get some of the tension that I wanted, but it wasn't enough because that hadn't simmered enough. That didn't simmer long enough. They took it off the stove too early.
Yeah, so I guess kind of on a similar vein, this will be like an overall complaint about the movie. 2 things. One, none of the conversations were like that believable. Like it was one of those movies where like people had very weird conversations that like regular people wouldn't really have. And that's kind of what led to a lot of these conflicts. And like that's what led to like the resolution of conflicts. Like I'm pretty sure multiple of these conflicts got resolved by some kid giving some like speech that like kids probably wouldn't give. Oh no. You know, so like there was a lot of that in there.
Like when Gabrielle Union's character and her high school best friend or whoever he was.
Her like high school boyfriend or something, and she was like giving her like relationship advice. I'm like,
ew.
I was like 11. You know? but yeah, so like there was a lot of that, and so I didn't like really feel for any of the characters' like situations. Like I didn't like the stakes were kind of low. Like I just wasn't really very into their situations. So while I didn't like that dinner table scene, I viewed it as a bright spot in an otherwise very, like, dull movie, you know? So, like, in a better movie, that dinner table scene would have been great, but in this, like, very, like, below-average movie, that scene really stood out to me. But, yeah, like I said, like, I didn't think any of the, like, conflicts between any of the characters were that, like, realistic or serious. So, again, when, like, they had that dinner table discussion, like, yes, it was all going on, but, like, at the dinner table, I felt like those conflicts finally started to get interesting. You know, like you had the drug problem finally start to become a problem. You had the selling the house finally start to be a thing. The affair starting to be a thing. So like, I just felt like nothing happened for like the whole first part. Then so much happened at that dinner scene. It still wasn't that much or like wasn't that exciting. But like that was kind of the climax, and so like I appreciated the scene. But like,
it was a weird climax because they didn't like go up. Yeah, it kind of just was like
it was like a climax, you know, like the climax just wasn't that high, you know, like the climax just didn't get that high. You were like riding low for the whole movie, you know. But
it was like a speed bump essentially. Where you're like, oh.
Yeah, I guess I'll just say my second point now. This movie was a lot more sad than it was funny. Like this movie wasn't that funny at all, but it was like very sad. Like every character was kind of just dealing with the passing of the mother. So like every character was just kind of down the whole time, and like I was expecting a fun holiday movie. And didn't get that. And you kind of ride that flatness of like, oh damn, like their mom just passed, you know, and they're like this dysfunctional family. Like I was kind of wondering why they were getting together anyway, but like I was like, all right, mom died, you want to get back together one last time? But like again, it wasn't that exciting.
And they say one last time, but the conflict of the selling of the house didn't come up till Thanksgiving, till the Christmas dinner. Yeah. So they didn't know it would have technically could have been their last time. They were it should have just been I don't know.
And also 5 days is a lot to spend for the holidays. days. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like that seemed especially for a dysfunctional family. Like they were there 5 days before Christmas. That means they all took off work. Like left the 20th. Like that's early.
That's
like
real early.
That's early. I don't know what day Christmas was in this universe, but like, if Christmas is during the week, like you're not really getting those days. Like you have to, like it just seemed like a lot, especially for a family that doesn't like each other.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was my main gripes. You could go ahead.
I will say, a gripe I had was with Evan's addiction to painkillers.
Yeah.
Not the fact that he had it. That was whatever. But they kind of didn't talk about it after the car accident. And
they didn't talk about it before, really. Like, I think there was a couple things. You see him, put the pill bottle.
Yeah, there was a little bit of it, but then at the end, it was like, oh, something happened to Uncle Evan, which stopped the conflict with the two sisters again after the gunfight. And then they were like, something happened to Uncle Evan, and then they go in, and he is in a car accident, but they don't talk about the fact that he was fully addicted to pills.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what? They kind of dropped the ball multiple times here, where you can kind of, and that's what I don't like, but that's what annoys me about some movies, when you can like see where a good scene would have been, or where a good storyline or storytelling thing should have been, and then it's just not there, and you're just like...
Yeah, because I was worried about his health, because like in terms of like painkillers, if you get into an accident, the hospital's going to give you more painkillers, so like this is going to be an ongoing problem. They act like the car accident was like that moment where like, oh yeah, now he knows, and now he's off him, but like... He's probably in pain. Now he probably needs them. But the addiction doesn't know that he needs them now. The addiction's like, all right, I'm still getting my fix, So they definitely could have explored that a lot more. Yeah.
Or they could have conversely not done him being addicted to painkillers.
Yeah, that was also kind of like random, I guess. I don't know.
It was just like a very different conflict compared to everyone else's like weird conflict.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone else's conflict was interpersonal, and his was just randomly like...
Yeah, very self, And like, it didn't even seem like... They didn't even, like, make him... Like, I don't know what it's like to be on, like, those kind of, like, painkillers, really. Like, at that level, but... They didn't, like, make him seem that different. Like, I guess he had that explosion at the dinner table, and that was supposed to be, like, the big... Oh, yeah, he's on drugs, by the way, But other than that, like... You seem, like, normal, Like...
They could have very well not done that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it would have been fine if they didn't do that.
Yeah, but, Okay. Did you have anything else?
Did I have anything else? I said I didn't like the penultimate thing. Oh... Just a weird aside, I didn't like that they all shit on Aunt May's dinner when she brought all the different multicultural food. I was like, that's real uncomfortable. Like, I know people probably say the same thing about black people food, like soul food. Like, you're shitting on the food, and they shit on bubble tea.
Yeah.
I love bubble tea.
I miss what food she showed, because, like, there was one thing she showed that had, like, the potato salad she described sounded gross, but I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't know if all the food sounded gross or just that item.
All the food didn't sound gross.
I just know the potato salad had, like, pickled fish on it.
Yeah, and I will give you that. Gross. People don't like when you...
Then she said bubble tea. I was like, bubble tea slaps. Like, bubble tea is good.
Bubble tea is so great.
And like she said, like with warm tapioca. I'm like, yeah, bubble tea. Yeah. It's good,
She did a few other things, and they didn't look gross on the table, at least to me. It was one of those things where, like, if someone offered it to me, I'd eat it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't like when people do that, where it's like, just because it's a food not from your culture, it's disgusting, and then they made a whole big to-do about it. And I was like, come on.
Yeah, but again, I think that was part of them, like, botching the whole food theme. They wanted to show, like, oh, no one else can cook, like, insert mom who just died,
Grace.
Like, Grace, yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, the sister tried, but she can't throw down as well. Like, everyone was kind of struggling to cook. So, like, I understood why they had that, like, scene in there, but...
She didn't throw down because she's that, worldly aunt who comes in and is, like, very fancy. Like your affluent, fancy aunt who just, like, randomly comes in with, like, bold stories and all that good stuff. So that's why she doesn't cook. I understood why she didn't cook, but just... I don't like when people do that.
All right. This is time for ratings.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, this one was like a pretty firm 2. Again, like it wasn't what I expected. Like I expected a fun, warm holiday movie that was funny. Like looking at the cast, star-studded cast. Like, I just expected a lot more from this movie in terms of like laughter and like me smiling, and I didn't get. I didn't get that. Like it was kind of just a little sad movie. Yeah, so like it got a 2 for me.
Yeah. I maybe laugh more than you, but I also feel as though I need to separate if I'm laughing because I'm talking to you or if I'm laughing because of the movie. Yeah. And I realize I don't do that all the time. Yeah. I don't separate the two.
Yeah, so... it is hard. Because we'll be watching it, like, we'll comment on it, then, like, I'll laugh, and, like, the scene itself might just be bad, you know? Like, it's probably just bad, but, like...
Am I laughing because your comment was funny, or am I laughing because the movie was funny?
But then, like, does it still count? I don't know, you know? Like, you have to factor that in a little bit, but it's, like, how much, you know?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I gave this movie 2.5. It was just like very much in the middle. It wasn't outstanding. It wasn't bad. Mm-hmm. I probably won't watch this again. Mm-hmm. I thought the fun scenes were pretty fun. I did like the kids when they were spying, not when they were giving precocious answers. Yeah. But like when they got kicked out of the
there were a few
Christmas
scenes where they videotaped stuff.
Yeah, and they videotaped thing, and I was like, oh, okay, I like that. I wish I was that smart when I was a kid, so we could get family dirt.
Yeah.
But and I guess I also liked even though you didn't like that they were there 5 days before Christmas, I liked the structure just so I knew what day.
I liked how they counted. I did like how they had that.
I just liked the counting. Because we watched Medea the other
a lot of movies have just been skipping around with the timeline.
And they just skipped around, and I was like, how... You know? And Medea was just so much happens in like a short amount of time, and you didn't know... But I just at least liked that there was a time, and I was like, okay, I know right now it's the 24th, and everything that's happening right now is happening in this one day. And I just... I appreciated that, especially after some of the movies we saw where they just were fast and loose with the time.
Place. Like, people get hurt, and they're back on their feet in 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I just appreciated it for that.
Yeah.
Not even as a story structure, or like, I didn't actually care that they came so early. It was like, whatever. But I was like, at least I know what time it is. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, that was good. And the title cards. Title cards help too.
Yes.
You know, but all right. I guess you kind of answered already. Do you wish you saw it sooner? Do you already say no or?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't say no, but it's also no.
Oh, I thought you said no somewhere in there, but
I probably did because Christmas movies are just like, it doesn't matter when you see them, really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was a pretty easy no for me as well. Like, pretty easy no. Yeah, just it wasn't that great. Like, and again, like, this movie was just too sad for me. Like, I really want, like, I wouldn't watch this around the holiday. I wouldn't watch this really ever, but it just was like really sad for a holiday movie. I thought, you know?
No, this is weird because It's a Wonderful Life is also pretty sad for a holiday movie. But I don't know why, but we see that we see it every Christmas because of our dad.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through, but I've seen like so many parts. I can probably like piece it together.
It's pretty a long movie.
No, it is. Yeah, so I've never sat through it.
We're not watching It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, that's not a Black Catch-Up.
I don't think there's black people in there. We're definitely not watching that.
Plus, I've seen it.
Oh yeah, that too. But yeah, this was
that was almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas, yeah, and it's probably almost Christmas when you're watching this, you know.
Yeah.
But, YouTube housekeeping: like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays, and on Sundays we do music and TV shows. All of our socials will be linked in the description box below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye.
One scene we didn't talk about that I actually should have put in the problematic scene was the scene with Gabrielle Union in the window.
Oh, what
the hell was that? That was an awful scene from every standpoint. Like, it was weird in every way, like, just uncomfortable, didn't need to happen, like, everything, like, the whole, from the moment she got locked outside, it was weird.
I feel like I blocked it out as soon as that happened, because I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.